is a classically trained, world-renowned pianist who has performed and conducted on concert stages and in theaters throughout North America, Canada, and Latin America. Vince is also the resident musical director and composer of the Lewis Center for the Arts at Princeton University and holds fellowships from the William Goldman Foundation, Temple University, Meet the Composer, CPAC, the Union County Foundation, the New Jersey State Council on the Arts, and the Mid-Atlantic Arts Foundation. Vince has fulfilled compositional commissions for Rutgers, Princeton, Rider University, the Pingree Foundation, the University of Colorado, the Scioto Society, Children's Theater Company in Minneapolis, Fairleigh Dickinson University, the People's Light and Theater Company, and the American Stage Company. He is perhaps best known for his arrangements of My Way, a Sinatra cabaret, I Left My Heart, a tribute to Tony Bennett, and Simply Simone, with over 700 productions nationally. He's a playwright, and guess what? He's also a really nice guy. Let's hear it for Vince. Also want to remind everybody that in addition to our regular Monday night meditations, we have a special meditation retreat coming this Saturday. So you probably got an email about it this morning. You can click on a link to sign up. And Maya, who's leading it, will be back tomorrow. So if you have questions that aren't answered in that email, you can just call Maya and ask her. Thanks, everybody. Now Mike Soto is going to talk to us for a sec.
Happy Sunday, everybody. Here we are. It's another great day. Briefly, I would just like to provide a little bit of gratitude to the Spirit in Action Committee for the ongoing work that they perform, even while we're engaged in our project, dealing with the community and orchestrating all the things that we're doing. The work goes on. So please, if you're on the Spirit in Action Committee, please stand up. And that includes Greg. And yes. All right, folks, I want you to know that these people are putting their resources, work, and hours, in some cases money, okay, in favor of our 17 programs that we support, okay? That's all I want to do today. Thank you all very much. Everybody have a great Sunday.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Oh, come on in, Paulie. I got a seat just for you. Come on in. Come on in. All right. As we prepared our hearts for our time here this morning, I'm grateful that I get to be with you in our space. Before Vince offers us his opening blessing for the morning, I did want to just take a moment of remembrance and a notoriety, if you will. I think we're all very much aware of what's happening in our nation and what transpired yesterday over in Pennsylvania. And I think what I'd like to do with you is just to create a moment of great peace and solitude with you, a time for us to be in the joy and precious gift of this moment. And I thought I would do that by having a simple candle ceremony with you and a prayer for our nation, indeed for all of us. And the way I want to do this is I want to ask Parker to come up. Come on up, Parker. I want you to help me with this. I'm going to offer a prayer this morning. And Parker, I like your t-shirt, by the way. Good job. Come on up. Come on up. All right. I know you know how to use these guys. So as I go through this prayer, we're going to light each of these 3 candles, okay? You can do that for me? There you go. All right. We're going to do them one at a time, okay? I'll let you know when. Thank you. Let's create this moment of great sharing and being together. As Parker lights our candles, we'll go through our prayer of notoriety and remembrance together. Let me begin by spinning our prayer wheel, which was gifted to us by our friends from the Tibetan community, our monastic friends with their great compassion, peace, and hope for the world. That no matter what we go through as a community or a nation, we have the joy and gift of each other. We can overcome any obstacle before us. Any obstacle. Great, small, and everything in between. So I light some candles with you, and I spin our prayer wheel. Let's create a moment of silence. I'll wait with you. I'll breathe with you. And we light the first candle. And we light this candle for our former president, Donald Trump, and his family as they are together on this day. We pray with gladness in our hearts that he is safe. We pray for him body, mind, and spirit. And we are glad that he is still with us, that our nation is not grieving even greater loss this morning, that he is fine. And for that, we are so grateful. And we're grateful that he can now continue his work as he sees it, and we can continue ours as we see it, that his life was spared. And for that, we are so very thankful this morning that our nation woke up this morning not remembering a life, but glad he was not killed. And then we light our second candle. We light this candle for all the political sides in our nation. A time when we get to remind ourselves that political violence in all of its forms is absolutely unacceptable. The physical violence, the social violence, the mental violence, all of it, absolutely unacceptable. And we do everything we can within our power to take away its power, to say that it has no place in our nation. And so we appeal to all of our leaders on all sides to speak out against political violence in all of its forms, that we can move into this election season and allow the commonplace of ideas to rule the day. May violence cease. May ideas have their place. And then we light a candle for our community. We light this candle because we know that no matter what's happening in the midst of our nation right now, we're here. We are here. And we are not powerless. We are not lacking in ability. We have not lost all hope. We are here in our little corner of the world, doing the best we can with what we have, speaking out for justice, standing up for equity, appealing to all the spiritual folk we can, doing what we can with what we have, and trusting the rest to the universe. I'm grateful that we are here we are for each other. And that's the strongest glue we could ever have. We move forward in love. We grieve as a nation. And we understand that love and grief are like cousins. They need each other. If we didn't grieve, we couldn't love. If we didn't love, we couldn't grieve. So we move forward. We hold the candle of hope in our hearts. And our love perseveres to a day when we can finally say, we're all free. May it be so. And amen. Thank you, Parker. Vince, would you?
Give me love, give me love, give me peace on earth. Give me life, keep me free from birth. Give me hope, help me cope with this heavy load. Trying to touch, meet you with heart and soul. Oh my Lord, please take hold of my hand that I might understand. Won't you please, oh won't you give me love, give me peace on earth. Give me life, keep me free from birth. Give me hope, help me cope with this heavy load. Trying to touch, meet you with heart and soul. Oh my Lord. Won't you please, oh won't you give me love, give me peace on earth. Give me life, keep me free from birth. Give me hope, help me cope with this heavy load. Trying to touch, meet you with heart and soul. Give me love, give me peace on earth. Give me life, keep me free from birth. Now give me hope, help me cope with this heavy load. Trying to touch, meet you with heart and soul. My Lord.
Okay, Cyrus, let's show the next one. Thank you. Let's do it. These comments come to us from the Reverend Cheryl Lindsay. People who have known an individual during the formative years may believe that they have seen a fully developed and concretized version of that person, when in fact, they have simply witnessed the journey to becoming. Imagine not knowing that a caterpillar eventually becomes a moth or a butterfly. Imagine that. And one day, without explanation or expectation, that caterpillar begins a radical transformative process. You may believe it to be dying or at least unwell. The response to the form would be stunning. Human development does not happen as radically, yet if significant time has passed between encounters, the impact of growth change may be just as stunning. And I love this part. In Franz Kafka's The Metamorphosis, the main character wakes up one morning completely and surprisingly transformed into an insect, to the shock of himself, his sister, and his parents. Here's what one commentator said: Gregor Samsa experiences personal alienation from the people he has cared for and served. He is transformed, losing himself altogether. And then finally, simultaneously, in ironic contrast to his experience, his transformation enables those around him to grow. Their lives are renewed at the cost of his own. His death comes not from the radical physiological changes in his body, but from their rejection. While a work of fiction, the truth is that rejection of identity holds both life and death consequences. You know, I've been thinking since yesterday about what we discussed last week, the idea of setting the intention. You know, I was grieving our nation last night when I heard about what happened to the former president. I shed my tears, I hung my head, and then I was reminded of the importance of being in this moment and setting an intention that says, I'm still breathing, I'm still living, I still got a chance, I still have a place in this world, no matter how alienated I might feel at this time or how disconnected I might feel from humanity. I was able to remind myself of the importance of setting my own intention, to remind myself that I am yet still interconnected. I set the intention. And for those who weren't here last week, here's how I did it. Here's a reminder. Let's do it, Cyrus. I created an affirmation that made my soul and my heart swell. The kind of understanding that I'm not alone, that I'm still connected to you, and you're still connected to me, and we're still for each other, which means we can still overcome any mountain. That was my affirmation last night. And then the next one, Cyrus, I was able to rattle off all those things I was grateful for. I made a long list. I'm still adding to it even now as I speak to you this morning. And then finally, I was able to remind myself about how I feel and what it looks like in my heart. And I was able even to go a little deeper to see what it sounds like and how my body feels as I say those words of connection. You see, by reminding myself to set the intention, by doing those things, I was able to get through the real dark, hard parts of last night. I was able to endure both the known and the unknown of this moment. And I was able to bask in the glow of interconnection. Okay, Cyrus. So, as I've been thinking about this, I was reminded of the great teachers and how they all, in one way or another, touched on this idea of poverty, poverty, poverty. You know, you can look at all the great religious texts and you'll see allusions to this idea of being in poverty. And even before what happened to our former president occurred yesterday, I had already been imagining this in my heart. What does poverty mean? What does it mean to be poor? What is the meaning of poverty? Now, when you hear that word, you might immediately think of a kind of economic connection, right? Those who don't have financial means, who can't pay their bills or have enough clothes or enough food to eat. You know, you might think about folks in even our own community who are struggling to live in a place that they can afford, an affordable home perhaps, and they feel that poor, that poverty in their heart. because they don't have the means to support themselves and perhaps even their families. See, when I think about that word poverty, it's easy to go to that economic place, to think about it as a matter of quantity and substance. And that's fine. That makes absolute sense. All you have to do is look at the great religious teachers and you'll see those many connections. Whether it was Jesus and his talks about poverty and the fact that we will always have it, Siddhartha and what he encountered on his Buddhist path to enlightenment, the list goes on and on and on. All the teachers taught us about the priority of really seeing, understanding, and doing something about the poverty we see and face in our lives. So there's that economic part. There's that ability to pay for things. And then there's perhaps a little more that I'm beginning to unearth and surface for my life. Again, I was already on this path even before yesterday happened. But it's incredible how after the events of the past 24 hours, Spirit is speaking about poverty. And she's taking us to a place of understanding that maybe it's more than just about the economics. Maybe it's about more than just the financial means to buy and acquire stuff. Maybe this definition of poverty has not gotten enough complication and nuance in our culture. Not simply about the dollar. What if the poverty that the great teachers talked about centuries ago, while not just being about the financial capacity, is also connected to what's going on inside of us? What's happening in our spirits, body, mind, and soul? What if this whole project of becoming like a butterfly has so very much to do with our own attention to and conversation with what's happening within, and being real with ourselves about all the forms of poverty that we're encountering as individuals, as a Laguna Beach community, as the United States of America. And the question that I've been wrestling with over these past 24 hours, and even over the course of the past 2 weeks, is what is the personal poverty with which we're struggling? What is the national and communal American poverty that we're struggling with this morning? What is the look of this for our lives? What is it teaching us about ourselves? What is the look of the impoverished life for individuals, for citizens, for indeed our beautiful nation? I see a nation that is poor. I see a culture that is in need. I see a culture that is lacking. I see a story that is still struggling to be written, an experiment that is still finding its way. I see a kind of poverty that has not gotten enough play in our culture, and because of that, we are sitting where we are on July 14th, 2024, bewildered and in shock. An impoverished America made this happen. An impoverished culture created the means by which this could happen. And kind of us and them, scarcity over abundance way of thinking has made this happen. And so I am seeing the reality of that. I'm seeing the truth of this playing out, how this didn't just happen all of a sudden. And I'm struggling to ask myself, how can we begin to rewrite this script? How can we begin to turn this around? How can we begin to create the kind of seeds, S-E-E-D-S, that can begin to sprout something new and more life-giving, more abundant, more focused on the kind of living that goes beyond a kind of scarce, impoverished way of thinking and is more open to compassion, equity, and justice, not just for out there, but what's going on within. If I really want America to save itself, if I really want our culture to be redeemed, if I really want to see our path to that place where truly everybody is free, it's got to start at home. And I don't mean the four walls at home. I mean the kind of soul that's percolating in here. And I got to come to grips with the impoverished life that perhaps I'm living and begin to ask myself the hard questions that will see me to a new day. You know, there's a story I heard about not long ago by a very good friend of mine. He had just married his high school sweetheart, and he was invited to a dinner at the home of his brand new wife. And he had never visited this home ever. There had never been an occasion for him to visit. He'd never been invited. But right after they got married, he received that invitation, and he made his way to that beautiful New England cottage on the Cape, Massachusetts. And he decided that he would go and visit, have this great dinner, meet his wife's family, and just see what might happen by simply being present. Little did he know, he got to the house for the dinner, and before he could even begin to utter 20 breaths, he was embraced. He had this beautiful man walk up towards him, maybe 2.5, 3 times his size, and give him the biggest hug, as if they'd known each other for years, as if they had been friends for decades even, that they somehow knew each other in this life and the previous life and the life before that and the one before that. The red carpet had been rolled out for him by this big man, and he felt so at home so very quickly. And what's even more than that, the man didn't stop there. He said, "What can I do for you? What can I offer you? We got wine, we got crackers, we got cheese, we got juice, we got a couch for you to sit on. I can turn on some music, I can light some incense, we can get a candle going. Whatever you need for you to feel at home, for you to feel that you are part of something, to feel that you are connected. Even when you don't realize it, you are always connected. What can I do? Can I put some cheese on that cracker? Can I put some ice in your water?" Now, what's interesting about this story is that it doesn't stop there. Because as soon as he was getting all this great abundance of possibility from this big man, there was a woman in the room. And this woman reacted in an adverse way. She said, "You're being too nice." Oh yeah, true story. She said, "You're offering too much. Let the man breathe. Let the man make his way into the room. Let him get comfortable in the space. Why just shut up? You're offering way too much. Just stop it." She said he has to put his coat down and untie his shoes and let his hair down. And here you are offering water and juice and crackers and all this great abundant gifts. Let the man get into the space. And I'm so I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that my friend in the moment, he said, I'm just glad to be in a place of abundance. I'm glad to be in a home of abundance. I'm glad that I found myself to a place of deep, boundless abundance. And so I asked my friend, after I heard the story, I said, so what was the lesson that you took from that? What did you take from that experience? Other than the fact that you could combine your wine and cheese and crackers anytime you wanted. What else did you take from it? He said to me, Rod, I now understand more than ever about the difference between a life of poverty, and a life of soulful opportunities. Which led me on my own journey of wonderment. I offer this for you to think about. How do we think about the word beauty? In our culture, we use that word beauty a lot. It's given these kinds of traits that have a lot to do with external stuff. Again, what's happening out there as opposed to what's happening in here. I'm convinced that we got to expand our definition of the word beauty so that we can be more attuned to it in our daily lives. We got to expand our understanding of the word beauty so that our consciousness can be raised and our heart can be attuned and our soul can be ready for those moments in which we can feel that interconnectedness and that breath of life that we so desperately need in these uncertain and fearful days. The fragrance of compassion, which says, I'm here to serve and provide that which you don't currently have. The fragrance of generosity that says, I'm going to go further than I ever thought I could simply because I'm here with you. The fragrance of vulnerability, which says, I'm going to take a risk and I'm going to offer something to you. I'm going to provide something for you that maybe I didn't even think I could give you. I didn't even know I had the means to give you. But because I'm in your presence, I feel led. I feel pushed to try this and to see what happens, no matter what. The fragrance of openness, sharing myself in a boundless, freeing way that makes it possible for you to see someone else treat you as the royalty that you are. The fragrance of peace that lends a willing heart and an open hand to hold your hand in mine, to feel the essence of that skin-to-skin intimacy that says, I'm here with you, and I'm journeying alongside you. I'm talking about the fragrance of all those things that bless our lives and remind us to never miss the opportunity to live in that abundant place, ever. Never miss it. And we do that by expanding our definition of the word beauty and applying that definition in our daily lives. When I think about America, I hear over and over again that we got to reclaim that beauty of our citizenship. We got to reclaim that beauty of our presence. We got to reclaim that beauty of all of our stories, black, white, and everything in between. We got to reclaim the beauty of our stories with all of its successes and all of its giftings and all of its warts and all of its evils and all of its problems. We got to make space for all of that, because in there are human beings, in there are stories, in there are generations, in there are pathways, in there are possibilities through which we can see ourselves as the human beings we are and the nation we are trying to create and all of its promise that it holds for all of us. I see in there a need to expand our definition of the word beauty so that indeed we find our ways to being a free and prosperous nation that we choose and want to be for ourselves and our communities. I want to embody that definition of beauty in my days, so that I no longer allow that bankrupt way of thinking to control my life. When I am missing the opportunity to live and be in an abundant over scarce way of thinking, I'm truly living. When I miss the opportunity to extend my hand and heart in compassion to another, I'm living a bankrupt life. When I'm missing the opportunity to speak up and speak out on behalf of those who are dispossessed and disconnected and unable to find themselves to a free life in this country, I am missing an opportunity. My soul is lacking. When I miss the opportunity to be present with another, to offer my ear, to be with them in their moment, to make sure they know that they are the most important person in the world that I'm speaking to at that time, in that place. If I miss that opportunity, I'm living in poverty. If I allow my life to be governed by fear and shame and guilt, my soul is bankrupt. If I allow my life to be defined by the things that happened in my past, either things I'm responsible for and even the things I'm not, my soul is lacking and I'm living in bankruptcy. If I allow the bullies, both present and past, to cast a story on me that is really not my own, but I've allowed it to have its way and to control my life, to control my consciousness, then I am truly living an impoverished life. And if America continues to eschew its responsibility to come to grips with the truth and evils that it has perpetuated, not just upon those who have yet to come here, but upon those who have been here for generations upon generations, we will continue to live an impoverished life within an impoverished culture, and we can expect more unexpected, shocking things to happen because we created the pathway for it. See, we are not off the hook. It begins with us. It starts with us. And I am convinced that we got to create some ripples. We got to create some equity. We got to create some spiritual understanding. We got to enable compassion. We got to make pathways to possibility so that we don't miss that opportunity to put out there that beauty, to show it as it is, to live it in our lives, to embody it in our stories, so that we can be in this place sound and free. See, I don't want to live an impoverished life, NCC. And I don't want you to live an impoverished life. And I don't want our nation to wallow and rest in that kind of life. And so we got to take a deep breath. We got to be aware. We got to expand the beauty. We got to bask in its possibility. We got to expand the story. We got to create space for understanding. We got to let stories be shared, hearts be open, characters be blessed. We got to allow communities to be uplifted, not denigrated. We got to create the pathways to all that possibility so that things like yesterday never happen again in the life and story of our nation. I don't want to miss the opportunity. I don't believe you do either.
I remember that August evening, a Saturday night in that sanctuary in 2012. And we were going to raise money for the church, and we expected maybe 50, 60 people, and Jimmy Ford, Ernie Nunez, myself, my son, and Mondo Cordova were going to play. And before the night was out, there were about 12 musicians on stage and about 400 people. And we raised quite a bit of money, man. And it's actually on YouTube, but it's hard to find because Claire Carter took all the videos and she never really put it up right. But I've enjoyed my association with this community. And so I'm really glad I have an opportunity to serve you. So I want to do 2 songs by George Harrison. I did a song before by George Harrison. And anyway, here we go. But thank you all for allowing me to share with you. Hear me, Lord, please. Where are my eyes? Forgive them, Lord, please, those who cannot feel or afford you. Help me, Lord, please, to rise above this dealing. Help me, Lord, please, to love you with more feeling. At both ends of the road, to the left and to the right, above and below us, out or in, there's no place that you're not in, though. Oh, hear me, Lord. Hear me, Lord. Hear me, Lord. Hear me, Lord. Oh, hear me, Lord. At both ends of the road, to the left or to the right, above and below us, out or in, there's no place that you're not in. Whoa, hear me, Lord. Hear me, Lord, please, to rise a little higher. Help me, Lord, please, to burn out this desire. Oh, hear me, Lord. Hear me, Lord. Hear me, Lord. Hear me, Lord. Oh, hear me, Lord.
One more time, Mr. Mura. Yeah, that was awesome, my brother. Thank you. That was fantastic. And a great connection to our stories this morning. Thank you. That was beautiful. Isn't it great how the Spirit just speaks? Isn't it awesome? I'm thankful that we had a moment this morning together. I realized that I promised you last week that we would consider the possibility of hosting a movie screening later this year for a movie called Bad Faith, which chronicles the rise of the religious right in America. I am planning to do this, and I'll hope to have a date for you very soon. So I'll have more to say about that very soon for your calendars. But we will be screening Bad Faith later this year. And I have to say one more time that when we use that phrase religious right, we have to be clear, again, we're not talking about Christianity or the words of Jesus. We're talking about a religion of domination and control, simply put, okay? So the rise of the religious right, we will have a screening about that later this year. And then I'm also looking, before the election, I'm looking to have some community gatherings where we can celebrate and be together, some fun, some games, some moments of levity that we can share together as a community. I want to do that before the election. Is that okay? Can we do that? Would that be all right? So be looking for that as well. I'll be speaking with your board about that this week, and I'll have some dates for you very soon. I can't wait to celebrate with you because I know there's a lot of angst. I know there's a lot of hurt in the world. I know there's a lot of pent-up sadness in our communities all around the country. And so I want to take some moments just to create some delightful, beautiful gatherings with you before the election. If we're going to celebrate the beauty, we got to see the beauty. You get my point? You get my point? So we got to do that before the election, and we will. Stay tuned, stay tuned. And then finally, I do just want to say quickly, real quickly, I would like to let you know that I'll be ordering your books, The Courage to Be Disliked. I'll be ordering your books this week, okay? And then I'll have some information for you about our gathering, which we'll be having later in September, okay? So I'll order your books this week. If you haven't already told me that you want to be on the list, if you haven't told me that you want a book, you probably want to let me know that today, okay? Okay, I see you, okay. Because I'm going to order those books this week, and then we'll have our gathering in September, okay? I can assure you of that. The book is called The Courage to Be Disliked. And then finally, it's so interesting that I get to have this moment with you. I've asked Sue Garber to come, but before she does, I'd like to ask Susan Huff to come up. Susan, remember you and I talked recently about a prayer that you read, that you received? I think it was a couple of weeks ago. Do you remember that prayer by chance? It was a beautiful one. And I want you to come up and just say a little word about it as our prayer gathering, our moment of centeredness, okay? And then I'm going to ask Sue Garber to come after her and provide a quick prayer for us, okay? But before we do that, would you come up, my friend, and just offer something? You remember it? Oh, you don't remember it? Okay. I put her on the spot. That's what I do here at NCC. Okay. All right, let me get the mic for you. All right. Would you read it?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. I mean, I think this is a great prayer. It may not be the one he's talking about. I don't know. But I'm finding it because I have it in my notes. I read it every morning. And you can place it in a way that works for you. But today, I'm going to read it in a specific way. I'm going to kind of make it up a little bit. It's by Tosha Silver. I don't know if you've ever read her prayers, but her prayers are magnificent. Okay, Spirit, open me. I'm ready. I don't want the exhausting burden of worrying about what's going on in our country anymore. I'm done. Help me let go of old beliefs and feelings that get in the way of your plan for my life. May I know the good I can do as an embodiment of divine abundance. Change me. Open me. Make me receptive to the unexpected. And equally, let me feel wildly open to receiving. Let me know my own worthiness to receive, and let me play with these new ideas as an adventure. And then let me embrace what happens according to your will. I am yours. You are mine. We are one, and all is well. Divine Beloved, allow me to give with complete ease and abundance, knowing that you are the unlimited source of all. Let me be an easy, open conduit for your prosperity, and let me trust that all my own needs are always met in amazing ways, and that it's safe to give freely as my heart guides. And equally, let me feel wildly open to receiving. May I know my own value, beauty, and worthiness without question. Let me allow others the supreme pleasure of giving to me. Change me into one who can fully love, forgive, and accept myself, so I may carry your light without restriction. Let everything that needs to go, go. Let everything that needs to come, come. I am utterly your own. You are me. I am you. We are one, and all is well.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was on the
That was
fly.
awesome. That was awesome. That was awesome. Sue, if it's okay, I want to change something up real quick. Can I do something real quick? All right. I love what you said. So let's end with what she offered at the ending. She asked 3 questions that I think is a great way to conclude this, Sue. So if it's okay, I'm going to make this change. Thank you. You asked 3 questions that I think are powerful. You said, in your own way, you said, what needs to change? What needs to change? What needs to change? That was the first one. Thank you. And then the second thing you said, which was beautiful, is what needs to be expanded, right? What parts of my life should I be speaking to, adding to, giving more voice to, right? So what needs to change? What should be expanded? There's that definition of beauty again, right? And then the third thing you said, which I thought was so powerful, is what needs to be let go of, right? So what needs to change, what needs to expand, what needs to be let go of? Thank you. Change, expansion, letting go. Change, expansion, letting go. Change, expansion, letting go. Let's sing Rainbow Connection.
What? Muppets?
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's
Can
do
I
it.
share my favorite prayer? Anne Lamott. Her morning prayer is whatever. Her evening prayer is, oh well. All right. That's about how it goes. Do we have those words up there?
We
there
do.
it
We
is.
do.
Come on now, channel your best Muppet. Why are there so many songs? What's on the others? Yeah. Rainbows. Who said Where are we? Where are we? You know what? My 2 pages stuck together. Okay, all of us under the spell. Oh, now we're gonna modulate. Everybody stand up. Have you been? Yes. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. Yay, Muppets!
All right. Before we go, I want to thank our community care team for preparing the food and coffee and drink that we're going to celebrate right outside in the courtyard. So as soon as we're done, join us outside for more and more of great conversation. Let's have a hand for Vince Mura, everybody.
Hey, Rod, could we have Vince play us out? I'd rather hear him play. That's why that's why that happened. The piano said, "Wait, where's Vince?"
But I want to do Swing Low. So we're going to do Swing Low, Sweet Chariot on the way out. So he's going to play it.
Both of us do it.
Okay, cool. Let's do it. Now, before we do,
Heart
one more
and
thing. I do want to say, Susan, if you would let all the artists know that we said hello at the Sawdust, let them know we said hi. We hope to see them soon. Okay, I have some ideas. I'll share them with you later. We love our Sawdust and our Festival of Arts friends. We pray abundance and beauty for their summers together over downtown, all right? I'm grateful for you. I'm thankful that we were able to be together. I want to sing Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, and then we'll be on our way. Let's sing it.
Swing low. I looked over Jordan, and what did I see? Let's go up to A. D. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming forth. If you get there before I do, tell my friends I'm coming forth to carry me home. Everybody, swing, swing low. Come on, one more. Swing low. Oh. But still, my soul feels heavenly bound, coming forth to carry me. Swing low. Let's take it. Coming forth to take it, Vince.